no good. Bye-bye.
Why are you throwing the pie away?
Welcome back to a brand new episode of Dining with the Roaches, where today we're going to be taking a crack at Tree Trunks' apple pie from Adventure Time. It's a relatively easy recipe if you know what you're doing, but a quick word of advice before getting in is to never underestimate the horrors of making a pastry. With that said, let's try our best to make one. I feel like Tree Trunks would try to make a very old-fashioned sort of pastry that a grandma would make based on the way she speaks. So let's begin by adding 350 grams of plain flour into a bowl, along with 200 grams of room temperature butter. Wash your hands and then start to mix with your fingertips. Try to get the mixture to resemble fine breadcrumbs by the time you're done. A little tip which is very useful here is to shake the bowl when you think you're done. This brings up any large bits of pastry which is not yet done, or rather broken up. Then grab yourself a knife and add a few splashes of water. Be very careful with the amount of water you add in or you'll ruin the pastry. And just start to make strides with the knife into the mix until it very faintly starts to clump together. Once you realize that it is, ditch the knife and start to weld it together with your own hands. Keep on packing it together until most of it starts to come together. Once it has, place it in the fridge for about an hour and prepare yourself for the true unyielding terrors and horrors that my kitchen is yet to recover from. Absolutely decimate your worktop with flour and then slap that dough ball of yours on top. Flour the pin and then start to roll it out. Pray for the hours of unyielding pain and torment it will take for you to roll this pastry. Question the life choices you've made to get yourself to this point, and after enough tears have been shed, the pastry will be rolled large enough to fit your pie tin. Place it in, fit to the sides, remove the excess. Then it's time for the filling. Peel around 2 to 3 fat cooking apples and then cut them up into bite-sized chunks. Then put the apple bits into a bowl of water and lemon juice. This is to delay the oxidation of the apples and to slow the process of them browning. Once done, place the apples into a pie dish with the pastry and then cover them with a few strips of left pastry to create a lattice. Then put it into the oven for 40 minutes at 180 degrees to create a pretty decent pie. In all honesty, the pastry leaves a lot to be desired. It's far too crumbly, and while it is nice, the entire pie left me feeling rather unfulfilled. So let's retry it, but this time instead using our hands we'll put it into a food processor, and once all the flour and butter is mixed in, add 1 egg, and the same amount of water you added in last time. Once you get this much more cohesive feeling dough, place it in the fridge for an hour and get some parchment paper and or cling film. Create a sort of plastic dough sandwich and then start to roll, and then break down because you realize that you learned this method a while ago but forgot about it, so you struggled with the pain of rolling with flour for absolutely no reason last time. Anyways, once you're done, you create a beautiful pastry sheet when it's all rolled out, so just fill it into the pie tin, press the sides, prick the base, remove the excess, all that jazz, and then fill up with the apples, dust with cinnamon and sugar. Finally, with the removed excess, roll out your pastry and big enough to fill the top of the pie sheet, and close it off with the back of the fork. Then brush the top with a mixed egg, and bake for the same amount of time as before, and out comes this honestly leagues better apple pie, which I'm sure Tree Trunks will be proud of. So all in all, what did we learn? Flour bad, plastic good. Anyways, on to today's Roaches pickings. I want to bring attention to one of the best YouTube channels I've ever had the pleasure of watching in all of my life, Centurion. The sheer joyful, colourful energy radiating over this guy and the moves he busts out make him one of the greatest people I've ever seen on a site. I can't explain it, but you ever just want to dance when you see something? Because I'm basically like that whenever I see him. His moves are pretty mesmerising. I also love his moves with the Yakuza soundtrack. Party Night, Tom Kings. Other than that, if you like Adventure Time or the old Cartoon Fridays, then I recommend checking out Pan Pizza, Driver the Rebel Taxi. I've been watching this guy for pretty much my entire life on YouTube now, not even a lie. From the Midnight Society to the top 10s, they're all straight bangers. Like Flaming, he deserves more recognition. Anyways, that's everything today. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, join my Discord, leave a like. It helps me out massively. See you in the next episode.